selfies are a form of social commentary and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you.
I've done what felt right. It just feels like
the world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. The ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
Gentlemen, this is democracy manifest. Have a look at, see that chap over there? He'll take a giant off my penis.
The Deputy Secretary, the Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary.
This guy is fucking stupid.
Stitches. Alrighty, how's it going, my beautiful starflies? Today is the 28th of December, and rocking my Pulp Fiction shirt, so I managed to find it. You ever just like, you're doing your spring cleaning, your winter cleaning, whatever the fuck you gotta do, and then you notice, like, you find a lot of cool shit, and then you forget that you had cool shit, It's like, kind of like what's his face, Otto from the fucking Simpsons. I had mustard. All we found was a bunch of old magazines and a bottle of mustard. I had mustard. So yeah. So what are we covering today? I don't even know. We're covering Poopy Pants. Oh, that's right, Poopy Pants. Oh, God. So, whether or not you follow mainstream politics or underground bullshit, it don't matter. As long as you get actual facts. I mean, some of these not underrated, but some of the lower performing news shows are often the best forms of information. So I don't judge anybody I don't judge your resource just because I've never heard of it. If somebody says, well, I heard this on TYT. Okay. Now we have a natural inkling to kind of trust them, because for the most part, I've never really had to debunk anything they said. The only times that this happens is when it crosses, my lines, and every human being should have a code and a certain honor system. Now, personally, for me, it's women and children. I have a code for women and children. They get, special treatment for me because I think it's our responsibility to be the village. And when I was a kid, I know that it wasn't just my mom that raised me. I was raised by the street. I was raised by the people on the street. I was raised by, whatever situations I was in. This is what I'm learning from. I'm getting my entire schema from just the amount of advice I get from other older people. And it wasn't always good advice, and it certainly wasn't always fun. When we were jumped into a gang at a young age, and I didn't want to be in it. It's a popular Chicago gang, but it was a subset for the youngins. The youngsters are the ones that really do all the deals. Like, we didn't count the money, but we were the ones that had to ride our bikes over and, drop stuff off. Now, I didn't want that for myself. I personally didn't want it. There was a lifestyle that I was not interested in. And I knew to say, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. I don't want to end up 16 and a parent. I don't want to end up 15 and living in this motherfucking abandoned house where there's, children with, rashes. There's it was a DCFS nightmare. It was everybody looking out for themselves and each other in that house. So it's been torn down now, and I believe they put a condo in there. But I'll always remember that spot that was on Eastwood near Albany, between Albany and so it was on Albany and Kedzie, between Eastwood and Albany. And it was, it was what it was. And, my boy was so excited to join it. And I just I knew when to say I don't fit in. And I never once resulted in these pathetic attempts to think that I'm too good to be a part of their group. I just didn't fit in. So, speaking of people that don't seem to fit in, which is a perfect segue, then you're gonna fucking die! All right, so let's move on to another guy that just doesn't get it and doesn't want to fit in. Let's start off with Fetterman, John Fetterman. Now, John Fetterman is an interesting guy because, honestly, I liked him in the beginning. I really did. I did not... I loved how everybody hated him because he didn't look the part. And unlike Donald Trump, I like to go with people that don't look like they're from Central Casting. I mean, Central Casting is literally, just the barrel of where you get your actors from. So to call somebody Central Casting, I don't think is a compliment in any way. So John Fetterman here, now being in charge of Pennsylvania, which is a blue state, he knows that it's going to be won by the blue, but he worries over something that I think we should all be worried about, and that is how we are approaching this upcoming election on the right side of history. If you're on the left, we're no different from the MAGAs right now, because we're not running on anything. We don't know what Biden is planning on for this, next term. He said he was going to be a one-term president. I understand that you don't think anybody else is going to beat Trump. You can. That seems to be his mindset. There's nothing wrong with confidence, and everybody is losing their confidence in him while he keeps saying, no, I'm going through with this. And if he dies as a president, wouldn't that job make y'all damn fucking happy anyway? So shut up and let the man win. All right. So John Fetterman is basically calling out like people like James Carver for talking about the lack of initiative or the lack of campaigning on the side of Joe Biden. We haven't seen it, and we don't know how it's going to be. And I agree with John Fetterman. It should be, I don't agree with John Fetterman. I actually agree with Culver.
Senator John Fetterman continues to mock the very people who helped him get elected in the Senate in the first place. This time, he did so in the context of an interview with Politico. In fact, the piece published by Politico is titled, "John Fetterman isn't the politician you thought he'd be, and he doesn't care." The Pennsylvania Democrat has some thoughts to share on Biden, the left, and James Carville too.
Okay, now Carville is what I was talking about. I'm actually on his side about this. I think you should be planning. You should have some sort of approach. And I think Anna is being kind of unfair here, where John is more on the spot, basically explaining, no, we do need something to campaign on. Now, if you remember, on the steps of the House of the Representatives, the guy from I think it was not Kentucky because that's Kennedy, but one of the red states, he actually asked, can my Republican colleagues please tell me what the fuck am I going to run a campaign on? What are we campaigning on? What have we done? And so in his position, He is just furious with his party because he doesn't know what the hell he can go back to his state and say that they've done. Now, Biden has done plenty, and we covered yesterday the plenty of great things that Trump had done. We're fair here. It's just a matter of fucking honesty, and it's a matter of integrity, and Trump has none. We have seen what happens 4 years with Trump, and it got us nowhere but worse. Much, much worse. So the proof is in the fucking pudding. What is the problem here? But again, I do think Anna is a little bit harsh on Fetterman when Fetterman, I just think she can be a little bit harsh when she has a bias.
Now, for the purposes of this discussion, I'm going to mostly focus on what he has to say about Biden insisting on running for re-election, even after he promised to only serve one term, and how Biden happens to be an incredibly vulnerable candidate if the election, general election, of course, indeed ends up being a rematch between Donald Trump and Biden himself. Now, with that said, let's get to the details of what he had to say. Now, in the piece, political reporter Holly Otterbein asks Fetterman to comment on Biden's campaign and how they haven't even announced any battleground staff in the state of Pennsylvania, the state that Fetterman, of course, is a senator in.
Right, which they're going to win.
And the question was, should the campaign be more built out in the swing states at this point? And here's how Fetterman responds. I don't give anybody advice unless on fashion. Okay.
Okay, that was a joke, Anna. That was a joke because he's always wearing sweaters and hoodies. And again, he doesn't look the part. Again, it's not a bad joke. Give credit where credit is due. This is like one of the most aggravating things that I'm seeing on both sides of the aisle is this whole it's okay when our side does it. You know, we see that from the right all the time. So I hate when they do it on the left. It's like, dude, did you not get the joke? He's always wearing sweaters. I mean, it's not that good of a joke. It's more like of a you kind of had to be there kind of thing. But you don't have to you don't have to read his words so harshly.
And I do know, all I do know is that the president will win Pennsylvania. And I do believe if he wins Pennsylvania, and I believe he will be a second-term president. Now, the polls don't look so great for Biden out of Pennsylvania. We'll get to that in just a moment. But after that, Otterbein follows up by mentioning how things have actually gotten a lot worse for Biden since the last time they chatted, with Trump now ahead in many polls. In fact, a Times Siena College poll shows that Trump is.
We can stop right there. I get what you're saying, Anna. So Anna's just, basically saying that John Fetterman is telling James Carville to chill the fuck out. It's way too early to worry about it. And on one aspect, yeah, sure, you're right. When has a poll ever been right a year before the election? We thought if we went by year early polls, then we should have had President Dewey. We should have had President Hillary Clinton. We would have had President Bernie Sanders. None of these people ended up president. And of course, it depends on Trump, he's probably the guy that still thinks Dewey beat Truman, It reminds me of that stupid ad, or that stupid meme that has been around since I can remember, of the guy holding up Dewey defeats Truman, and they're fucking idiots. I was told that was actually a completely misrepresented meme and picture, but if you know the true story behind that, please let me know. I love those little inside stories. So since I promised you more crazy ass white people, I managed to find another one, and I'm sorry, it is what it is, man. If you a crazy ass white person, you a crazy ass white person. Just fucking say it. All right, now fucking so we got two crazy ass white people to choose from, and so we got Kevin Spacey, who we're gonna get to in just a moment, but first let's go for this Republican. I don't know if he was a representative. I think he's just a representative. He gets pulled over and goes on a racist rant, but it's nothing like we've ever heard before. Okay? It's nothing like Mel Gibson. It's nothing like what you would expect from, a racist white guy. It is really strange what he decides to bitch about, and I really don't understand this idea that people can't have accents. When did this country become accent free? I can't stand Southern accents. Honestly, they annoy the hell out of me. I mean, I like using them, for fun, but they're often equivalated with ignorance or stupidity. I don't agree with that. Just throwing it out there. I do not agree with that. But I will say that y'all say some stupid ass shit, and with that accent, nothing comes out it very elegant or eloquent. For unlike Trump, that's actually properly used in both terms here. There's an elegance to certain people's speech, and they tend to have elegance to their speech and a great sense of nuance and finessing. And so let's watch this guy who just goes on this racist rant against British people. Now, this is why it is totally different from anything we'd seen before. So let's go ahead and listen to another one of those "do you know who I am" situations.
Watch. A breathalyzer?
Yes, sir.
Are you happy to provide that?
I'm not going to do that. You know why?
Why is
I'm
that?
speaking because I'm like 2 blocks away.
Okay.
You guys are picking on me.
Okay.
You guys are gonna regret picking on me.
Okay.
Because you don't know who the
Just one second.
on
I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you.
Not driving that car that far, so this is.
It's literally like 2 blocks away.
Listen, this is what I can do though. Instead of leaving it on that
Why
side,
do you
I can put
think
it over there? I can
Why
go
do
right
you
over
think
there
it matters? Why do they do that? You always
drop
see
my
people do
truck
that.
off.
Go,
Okay. I'm not doing that.
right
So we're
up
gonna
the
go to this
street.
vehicle.
Yeah, well, it's still a street, and you
Okay.
can still hit somebody.
Do you want your?
I think he just didn't know
Phones? There's
any
2 phones in
racist
there. Do you want those,
terms
or do you
for
want your?
British people. Because
take
notice
two
he doesn't
phones
say
there.
liney
Okay.
I gotta call
or
Attorney
piker
General
or
directly
anything.
to let these guys know you're being a to me.
Okay.
Oh, they're being a dick to you?
All this is video and audio recorded on body camera, including your language. All right. Do you want your wallet?
So your camera's right here.
Have you got a wallet?
It's in my fucking, goddamn it, my arms are hurting.
Okay.
Oh my god.
From England.
Are you proud to be from England? All right, now this is where it gets into the weird racist rant. This is why I can't help but find it hilarious, because we've seen Chevy Chase, we've seen, of course, Mel Gibson, but we've seen so many celebrities. This is the time where they normally start shouting it out. We're waiting for the N-word any moment now, but it never comes up. And seriously, if you want to piss off a fucking British person, just call them a piker. They hate that. Just call them that. Call them a wanker. Anything.
Yeah, I like my country. I have.
What?
Yes, I like
Oh
my
no,
country.
he likes his country. How dare you?
Proud to be English at least.
Why is that relevant?
Yeah, why is it relevant? Because I'm white.
What are you doing here in North Dakota? Arresting people.
He literally is saying, what are you English people doing in North Dakota arresting Americans? Motherfucker, he is American, okay? If he's a police officer in North Dakota, he's probably been in North Dakota for a while, or at least in the States for a while. Guess what? People tend to keep their accents when they go back home and shit like that, and even their friends make fun of them because they lose it a little bit by coming here. So shut the fuck up, and this is what's hilarious about it, is when they try to say this anchor baby bullshit when Trump himself is an anchor baby, or at least half anchor baby, because his parents are not both from America. So that means the average viewer has a far longer American lineage than the very guy that's trying to be a tyrant and a fucking silver shirt in our fucking country. And that's right, it's our country. It is not yours. According to your definition on what an American is, your fat ass don't even apply for it. So, all right, let's hurry up.
Your country's being taken over by migrants and this.
Here it is, the migrants and the refugees. You can actually hear him sign. Hear the police officer sign.
They're driving home. Well, people come into your country and women. Yes or no? And I'm the bad guy.
And I'm the bad guy because I'm driving recklessly in America, and you got people raping people in another country, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? This guy is trying so hard to be racist in any way, shape, or form, and you can see he's having trouble with it because the guy's white. So he's now still trying to basically bring out this tribalist bullshit, saying, you know, we should stick together and it's the brown people that are the problem. Motherfucker, you're the one behind the fucking wheel. You're the one with the goofy ass tie shouting out all this fucking crazy shit. The only person that looks like we need protection from is yo dumbass. And that's a fucking legislator. That's a fucking Republican representative. That it's just fucking pathetic. And yet these assholes get these, you know, limitless, capless fucking terms. So I absolutely agree. There should be a cap on all positions. If there's 2 terms for a president, then it should be, you know, 2 terms maximum, unless it's like a yearly thing. But there should be caps on everything, because I hate this idea of Poopy Pants being able to just walk around and his staff just gets to, you know, be rich forever because they don't lose their jobs. I mean, that's bullshit. If you're a bad judge, you're a bad judge. You shouldn't get to be a judge for the rest of your life when you suck. And look at Dianne Feinstein. And so, speaking of Dianne Feinstein, we are going to get into a video where Poopy Pants over here farts in Dianne Feinstein's face, and she gets a full whiff of it. So that makes a absolutely perfect segue. Then you get fucking shot. All right, so let's go on and move over here to this crazy ass shit with what I was talking about, the Poopy Pants over here. Just give me one moment. I seem to have lost it. Are you fucking kidding me? This happens all the time. What's it called? The system loves to erase my videos as I'm working. So whenever I'm talking to you guys, you know, there is a chance that my computer will just get rid of one of these options. I don't know why it does it. It just really likes to do it, I guess. So, yeah, I really don't understand why, but it's just the way it is. So I'm sorry about that. Let me go ahead and try to go back. And basically the whole point is, here we go. Alrighty, let me go ahead and share this. And yeah, here is Donald Trump farting in the face of Dianne Feinstein. There's Dianne on the right.
Any violence, it can be ended.
Noel Kessler, a former staffer on the Trump TV show The Apprentice.
All right, let me get out of the way.
Here in a bipartisan fashion to show leadership in an effort to end this senseless violence. Any violence, it can be ended.
Noel Kessler, a former staffer on the Trump TV show The Apprentice, recently told Mine this type of Trump farting. Did you hear that? Here it is again, and watch Senator Feinstein's reaction.
So
Oh, there it is.
here in a bipartisan
And
fashion
look at her head,
show
look at her head go
leadership in
down.
an effort
It's
to
just
end
too much.
the senseless violence. It can be ended.
Noel Kessler, a former staffer on the Trump TV show The Apprentice, recently told Midas Touch Network that the Trump incontinence and odor was a frequent issue.
Okay, now I want to talk about this part because this went on TikTok yesterday or the day before this. When I started this, I swear to God, this motherfucker looks just like Rivers Cuomo from Weezer. So I was laughing because we have heard Ted Cruz go on Turning Point USA, running around making jokes saying that someone carries an extra pair of pants for Biden in case he has poopy pants. And he thought it was really fucking funny. Yeah, you really shouldn't have brought any attention to that, knowing that your guy wears a diaper and we have pictures of his diaper. Like, dude, you're not fucking fooling anybody. When you wear those tennis shorts, dude, we saw your diaper, bro. So this whole projection is just so strange. Like, are you guys just really just closing your eyes every time he's on there? Or do you really not see this big ass fucking depends on his fucking ass? So this is Rivers Cuomo lookalike that worked for the Trump show, The Apprentice.
Since probably the 90s.
Wearing diapers since the 90s.
In the 2000s on Celebrity Apprentice in late 2000s. And we'd have to stop the show and change him, and that was Keith Schiller's job. He would take him off set. He would wipe him down. Our nickname for Keith was Wet Wipes.
Wet Wipes.
It's not a joke. It's happened several
times.
Kessler told Midas Touch Network that
I love that he had to pause and actually say, it's not a joke. Well, I mean, it was a joke. It's not a fake joke. It's not a false joke. And so, yeah, it's not just a joke. When it's reality and you have that many people complaining about your hygiene, it really starts to seep in there. So as you can see, I'm fast forwarding a little bit because this got bigger than I ever thought, When I made this joke a while back about the poopy pants, I had no fucking clue that poopy pants was going to be the biggest hashtag besides Trump smells. And the first thing that I had written was Trump smells because it's different to say Trump stinks. I didn't want to say that because that can be misconstrued and that can be interpreted in many different ways. So you got to be a little bit more direct. So I said Trump smells. And turns out I chose the right words because that is now the biggest hashtag against Donald Trump, who does not want to talk about it. So this is the Lincoln Project's newest dig at him. And I love the Lincoln Project. I love the Lincoln Project because it seems like they're the only ones that understand how Trump thinks, how Trump works, and what actually gets to him. And they know exactly what that is. And it's anything the news or the media can talk about.
On the action with this. cheapest video to make, yet it means so much.
Claiming the former president smells bad.
Its odor has a distinct smell. Whoa. It's like body odor with kind of like a scented makeup product.
Oh, Donald, is that you?
That is so harsh because you know damn well it worked. That's why it's so special, because you know damn well it worked on that son of a bitch. And that's why it's so goddamn effective. Now, this could have been completely avoided. This could have not been a thing whatsoever. You didn't have to make it a thing. You just simply shut up and let it die. And instead, he went on and said, because this all started with that guy, Chris Singer, saying, dude, you stink. And then he goes off and said, oh, yeah, well, you farted on live TV. And yet nobody can find that live TV footage that he was referring to. We ended up finding you farting on Dianne Feinstein. So, not doing too well. But, yeah, man, the stink is real, bro. The stink is real and it exists. So, it turns out in another speech, it turned out he kind of gave himself away, since he did mention that people in Beverly Hills don't tend to smell very well, or smell, their odor is kind of foul. And he made that joke. And we didn't know that he was kind of sliding in a little Freudian slip there. All right. So speaking of slipping, segue to end this fucking show. So speaking of which, that's my time. We'll be back tomorrow with whatever the fuck we're back with. I never know what to write on for these topics. And I didn't get to the final topic that I did want to get to, so we'll save it for tomorrow. And that'll be crazy-ass actors. So we'll be going into more crazy-ass white people tomorrow, from Kevin Spacey to his crazy-ass brother and his Nazi father. But, of course, mucho, mucho más. All right? So stay safe, stay friendly, stay yourselves, and I'll see you on the other side. Most of all, please stay cheesy, my friends. Later day.
These movies are a form of social commentary and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud. And it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
Gentlemen, this is democracy manifest. Have a look at, see that chap over there? Take your hand off my penis!
The Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary.
This guy is fucking stupid!